All right, welcome guys. I am Randy Underwood, Sapphire Ambassador. If you don't know who I am, you are on my team somewhere. I'm sure your leaders have let you guys know. Um, I need to hide. Sorry, this board. There we go. You guys probably don't see what I see, but the control was completely in my way, and I was like, I cannot see what I wrote up here. Okay, so I kind of wrote everything out for you guys to kind of see. You guys can take screenshots if you guys want to make it a little bit easier. But as I got back from my trip, and I was sitting there, and I was thinking about the cruise that we were just on, I was sitting there thinking about what is it like. I feel like this team is incredible at posting and showing up and being consistent in that way. But I feel like a lot of us sometimes struggle with the reaching out or the connecting with people. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And if you guys want, you guys can chime in anytime. If you guys want to ask some questions or put stuff in the chat, feel free to ask questions as we're going on, especially so I don't, I can make sure that I can answer them at the very end of the call. So how to engage with your target audience to find leads. So like I said, I'm going to kind of read this off of here so I don't get too far off. Once you've figured out who your target customer is, you want to find them, use social media tools such as hashtags, explore page, groups, your own followers. So this is talking a little bit hashtags. I use typically more on an explore page on Instagram. Groups is my favorite place for Facebook. You can also connect with people through the people who you're following, your friends. Some of the times, like I've got a lot of friends who I've met through crunchy type groups, and so we connect through basically through the comments, and I've just had someone add me as a friend the other day just because I commented on one of those people's pages. So that is one of my favorite ways on Facebook. If you guys are mostly using Facebook, is finding a group where you can connect with others. You know, I have a sheepadoodle. So I just recently joined a doodle page of Williamsburg. So people, I was like, oh, I can get out on walks with these people with my dog. Like this is a great place to connect. So think of things that maybe I like groups that are local, but also groups, like I said, I'm on a lot of like homesteading, crunchy moms, like those types of pages. That's just me. And those seem to work for me. And those are the people I usually connect a lot with. So make sure that you're joining a few groups if you're not in any right now, and have your leader help you out there if you are completely clueless on where to start with that. So that's kind of what you're going to want to do, is making sure that you are connecting with people, you are adding new friends very consistently, because there's a lot of times, if you guys have been doing this for a long time, you'll say, I ran out of people to follow up with, which you kind of do if you aren't consistently finding some new friends to connect with, right? Obviously, this is just talking about through Facebook and Instagram, but in person, making sure that you're getting out there. A lot of people I'm connecting with are my homeschool moms in the homeschool groups that we're a part of, and church are usually my two big things. I do work out at home, but I've even been thinking, I'm like, maybe I need to go to the gym once or twice a week just so I can meet other people that, are focusing on their health, and other people I can connect with. So just think about that as well as you're trying to connect with others. Find something personal that resonates with you, either in their story or post. And this is a place where I like to connect with people, because stories over posts, actually posts these days, you can get into their DMs. Now that they gave that option, or at least I can. Can everybody do that, or is it just me? You don't know. Because I do have a creator account, so it's possible it's only just me. But stories has always been my favorite, because I feel like it's a place where people feel, I guess, safer to show up as themselves and to kind of learn a little bit about them. And it's one of those places where you can just, jump into their DM and start talking to them and connecting with them on a one-on-one level, right? So just be genuine while you're trying to connect with others, right? A thoughtful response. Always ask questions is one thing that I will always say, is ask questions and really show genuine interest in them. So don't just reach out to whoever. This should be someone who you feel like you're connected with, and someone who you feel would be a good friend. And guys, if you are new, I'm going to tell you guys first off, not just if you're new, but if you guys have been here for a while, right now, before Black Friday, I would say is a good time to start making your lists. Okay. So you want to make a list to, in different categories. Basically, if you have current customers, make a list of the customers who maybe quit make a list of people you've been talking to for a while that maybe haven't jumped yet. And then make a list of those people who maybe you're just like, I really want to build a relationship with this person more, or I really think that they would be great with these or great with this business or great on these products. But make lists so that way you're a little bit organized and you can put them into different buckets. This person's great for the products. This person's great for the business. And the whole point of making lists, guys, is just because, especially with Instagram and Facebook, the algorithm is going to constantly show the same people over and over again, right? So if you have these particular people you know you want to connect with, you need to actually go to their, I would make the list, say, okay, I got 25 people on this list, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to go to these people's pages, connect with them. If they put something in stories, go into their stories, see what they're sharing about, what they're doing right now. If they put a post up recently, and I know a lot of friends who aren't necessarily, they're not into social media as much as we are, right? So they may just do posts. They may not do stories at all. But either way, go ahead and make sure that you are going to their pages, because then the algorithm will change and you will start seeing more of them. If you are on Instagram, did you want to say something, Christy? Go ahead.
So I just wanted to point out something, because I don't know if everybody knows this, but we're told to do different kinds of posts, from now and then to get different engagement. And I'm telling you, like in the last couple of days, I did one post the other day, and I just made a quick little Canva thing that said, who's decorating for Christmas before Thanksgiving? And I got a ton of people who wanted to comment and talk to me about whether or not they put up their Christmas tree, how many trees they put up, whether they do it before Thanksgiving. I mean, it got a ton of engagement. And then, of course, my husband graduated to heaven 13 years ago yesterday. So I put up a really old picture of him. It was like, we had been married, I think, 4 months when I took the picture. And I just said a little something about him. But all of a sudden now I have a whole lot of people that I have not been seeing in my feed, that now I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember you, because I have 2,900 friends, right? And so I just want to encourage everybody to think of something that they can post this week that's out of the ordinary. Do something a little bit different, either something very personal about you that you think might tweak the interest. And I don't know how Facebook puts these people in my pathway. I don't know how it works, but they're just coming out of the woodworks, like almost 200 people on each of those posts, which normally my post about my dog or my granddaughter or Plexus gets me like 5 or 10. So it's a huge difference. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What I was going to say, like, add in addition to that is, yeah, those posts actually, the reason they are so great is because so many people, it's like once they start seeing the comments, Facebook's like, ooh, this is a good post, right? And so more people start seeing it. And if you are interacting with people, so if you are not getting very much interaction right now, that's a great idea. Like Christy said, you can even do that post. In fact, I actually just put that, funny thing is, right before we got on this call, I put it in my stories as a poll. Because it's funny how people are so opinionated about that, right? I'm like, I'm a November 1st girl, guys. And I feel like I get attacked sometimes. I'm like, ah. But yeah, that, or like if you're doing anything in your personal life, or maybe you're wanting an opinion on something, like, hey, do you like this dress or this dress? Like, people love giving their opinion. So
Well, and
now,
also and let me just say too, I learned, and somebody told me this, that when you post something like that, when people comment back on as many people's posts as you can. Like, I don't stay on Facebook 24/7, but I will open it every hour just to see how many people have commented. And I take just a few minutes to like and actually respond to every person. And I think when we're responding, Facebook says, oh yeah, I'm going to send this to more.
yep. I would also add to go to their page too. So it's like they liked or commented on your page, go ahead and go check out theirs as well and give them some love too. That really works. But really fast before I forget, because I was going to say, I don't know if you guys know about this, but Instagram, if you are on Instagram, I know not everyone is, if you click on the people that you're following, you can put it in order of the last people that you followed. So one of my favorite things to do, because obviously I'm adding them for a reason, these people last. I'm usually finding them through hashtags, or I'm finding them through, like I said, other people's pages, usually bigger pages. So it might be like, well, I'll just use an example, Dr. Axe's page, right? It might be someone like that, and you have a bunch of normal people who are following him. I will start connecting in those comments, and I will add, I will follow them. Well, if you sort it by the date latest that you followed, what I like to do is I kind of like to quickly scroll through and see who has stories up. And then I'll go on to all of the stories, the ones who have active stories, and go interact with them. So that's another way to do it too. These are people who I want to get to know better, who I want interacting back with me and whatnot. So, okay, let's see here. What was I at? Okay. So when you're in the DMs, get to know them, ask them questions about where they live, their life, their kids, their business. Just talk to them like you would in real life. Okay. I think that we forget sometimes when we're on social media to how to have a conversation, right? It gets awkward because it's not normal. It's not like it's easy back and forth conversation. And because of that, it feels a little bit awkward, but just try to think, okay, if I were in a real life situation, how would I do this? You want to show interest in them, ask them any questions. They're probably going to ask you questions back and show some interest too. But get to know them, because the more you try to get to know them there, the more likely, first off, they're going to start seeing your stuff in the algorithm. And then second of all, they're going to start interacting with your stuff, and then they're going to start seeing your things, right? Okay, here's where I'm struggling, and I don't know, hopefully, oh, there we go. I might be on the second slide, I just realized, by the way, guys. So to go back really fast. I don't know how that happened. I was like, I thought I made a slide that said make your list, and that's why I was thrown off. Okay, so I kind of actually already talked about this, but again, if you guys want to take a quick screenshot really fast, you can. Since I did already kind of cover all of this. Just giving you guys a second. Okay. All right. All right, so your content will show them what you are selling. People buy from people they trust, just kind of like what we talked about, getting into their, their messenger and talking to them, creating. And guys, you might know all these people if you're starting off and it's all your Facebook friends. You might know every single person, so you might not need to necessarily get to know them. But it could be an old friend. It could be someone you haven't talked to in 20 years, right? It could be someone that you knew in high school or college or whatever. So reconnect is what you would really be doing. But just reconnect, not talking about Plexus in any possible way. And again, they're going to start seeing your stuff. They're going to start asking what you're doing once they start, you start having that relationship. Once they start asking questions about yourself, your work, let them in, be honest, and don't use copy and paste responses ever. You're going to see us sometimes share those to help you guys out. It's really just meant to help you out with getting started. Okay, here's a great message. Figure out what to use as your own, kind of rewrite it, just like we do with posts. We share all of our posts. So if you guys ever like a post that I've written, take it, but make it your own. Make sure that what I do is I like to copy it, put it in my notes on my phone, and then I will rewrite it as my own. And it might not sound anything like the first one, but it inspires me and it helps me, gets me thinking on what I want to post about. Okay, when trying to build, how to share about your business. Okay, when trying to build your team. So guys, right now, for many of you, I know you guys are shooting for big goals to get to Punta Cana, right? And one of the best ways to do that, was that Jill?
Yeah. Yeah, your slideshow is not changing.
My what?
The slideshow is not changing. It still says make your list, know your audience.
Really? Hold on. Thanks for telling me. Surprised nobody. Hold on. I will stop the share and reshare. I don't know why that's happening. Okay. Can you guys see this? Hold on. I guess I have to. Can you see that now? Okay. I hope you guys could. Did you see the rest of the slides that I went through when I was talking? I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, that last one. I was just kind of
That
repeating
was
what I'd
on
already.
that other one the whole time.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you saw the first one, right? You guys never saw this. Wow. Okay.
No.
I don't know why that happened. I see it now below though, because it says you're screen sharing, but before it said it was paused, and I was like, why is it saying it's paused? Okay. Take a screenshot if you want to. It's basically stuff I already said. And then this is the first one. I can share these two guys if you guys need me to share afterwards. Not a big deal. Okay, let me go back. All right. Thanks for letting me know that. Okay, how to share about your business. Okay, so when trying to build your team, like I said, a lot of you guys are shooting for some big goals. One of the ways that we get a lot of our credits, obviously, is going to be for the contest, the convention, the leadership retreat contest, is through keeping our customers, right, for those 90 plus days, and for helping our people to reach the ranks. And so I wanted to kind of talk to you guys and get you guys thinking, because right now you're probably in the mode of thinking products, right? You're like, okay, we're going to have some Black Friday specials. We got to make those lists for all those people with the products. But I want to get you guys thinking a little bit about who you can help with the business, right? So right here, it says who orders regularly, who would actually be good at this. I want you guys just thinking ask these questions to yourself and thinking, how much money are they spending maybe on their products, or maybe for the holidays, right? Maybe they have a big family. Have they ever sent referrals your way? That's huge. If you have somebody who's sending referrals, they obviously love the products enough that they're sending people your way. So you'll probably want to have a conversation with them to say, hey, instead of sending them to me, why don't you use your referral link, right? So these are some examples. Again, if you want to take a screenshot, you've ordered every month for the past 6 months. I feel we need to have a conversation about this. Can we talk? Very simple to the point. So, and then you can say a little bit more, obviously. Once they say yes, all right, listen, here's what I've been thinking. Again, this is just an example, guys. I know you're talking about this stuff. You're looking great. You have more energy. I know that you said it was helping with your anxiety. What if we just talked about it a little bit on social media or intentionally with your friends, and you can make some money to cover your products? What do you think? Right? So I want you guys to start putting those people on another list, right? Of thinking, out of the people that you have in your back office right now who's loving the products. Again, this is not for the newbies, of course, but as far as people in the back office, but you probably do have some people in mind, right? That you're like, I want to do this with them. When I started this business 8 years ago, it was 8 years ago in October. That was one of the first things that I did. I wanted my best friend to be doing this with me. And I was like, hey, I think you'd be great at this. We love the same things. Like, let's do this. We can go on vacations together. It'd be awesome. And that's all I said to her. And she jumped on and joined me and worked the business with me. Sadly, she's no longer here, but she did work the business with me for a very, very long time. And then, and that's kind of what I've done. Is just be honest with people, share what you think about them. When trying to build your team, always remember why you love the product and start by sharing it versus selling the business. Make sure you are creating stories of you using the product and being a part of your daily routine. I think Jill does a really great job of that. How I watch her show up every morning in her stories, and she's always mixing up her drink. I think it's usually after your workout, right? Or is it before your workout?
It's before.
Okay. I don't always pay attention very well, obviously, but I love how you do that. You're always showing up every single day showing I'm using these products, right? You want people to see it as more than an item, but something they can't live without, by seeing how you can't live without it, right? By helping them realize this, it will be easy for them to jump on board. This will sell the product and the business once they realize they can make money sharing what they love. When sharing the business side, make sure you're sharing what the business will do for them and why they can't live without it. Do this by sharing your story, where you were when you started and where you are now. I think it's extremely important to make sure that you are sharing your story, probably even once a week. It doesn't mean sharing a whole long testimony every week, but it's what I like to do is I like to write things down. here's what I've been dealing with before Plexus, and you guys might still be dealing with the stuff if you're brand new, right? So make a list, like, why did you start Plexus? I've got migraines, I've had no energy, I have insomnia, like whatever it is, write it all down as a list. And then as the products are working for you and you notice, oh my gosh, I'm having more natural energy, make a post about it, right? It doesn't have to be all the things. People are not going to relate to all the things anyways. That was one mistake I made at the beginning because I was literally a hot mess. Literally. Like you look at the Candida list and I'm like almost every single one of them on there. Like that's what I was. So it's like I was like, I've got this and this and this and this. And they're like, oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better now. Like that's great, good for you, right? They didn't think they could relate. So sometimes it's not a good idea to say the thousands of things that you have going on, but if you just pick one or two things for a post, and it also makes it easy for you to do it every single week. Okay, I'm going to share a different part of my testimony, right? Anyone want to share anything? Here's another example. How are the products going? Are you loving them? Have you told any friends about them? I know we talked about this when you became a customer, but you weren't into sharing. Sorry, guys. You weren't into sharing. Now that you've been taking the products for 3 months consistently and you're loving them, what do you think about sharing with a few friends? I saw how you talked about that lip gloss in your stories the other day. You did such a great job. You have such a presence. That's what we do. It's sharing what we love. You're a natural at it. Would you be open to getting on? Sorry for my typos, guys. I'm just now seeing this. Would you be open to getting on a call to chat more about this opportunity? Can you tell I was typing fast? So you can take if you take screenshots of things, just so you guys know, if you don't know, on your phone, you can highlight it and then copy and paste the words into notes, and then you can edit it yourself. But this is a great example of someone who maybe you shared with them at the beginning saying, hey, you're gonna have a referral link, and they're like, no thanks, I'm not gonna share. And so you just work on them getting to fall in love with their products, and they do, and then you can bring it up again. So make sure I will tell you, I was one of those people. I told Brandy there was no way I was ever going to share you guys. I was like, no, don't want to be on the pages. I'm not going to share. I love my photography business. I want nothing to do with this kind of thing. And well, the joke was on me, right? So you're going to have most people are going to tell you they don't want to share from the beginning, right? Because they need to make sure the products work for them. So just because they told you at the very beginning when you brought it up that they don't want to share their link and they don't want to start this business or sell or anything like that, doesn't mean they won't change their plans. So make sure that you're really taking care of them, and that and if they're sharing things with you, that is a great time to go ahead and ask them, if they're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling incredible. Like I had a person today, she's only been on the products for 2 weeks. And she was like, you may have seen it in my stories because I shared it, but she was like, I don't know if this is Plexus doing this, but my sleep has been incredible. And I'm like, it's totally Plexus, right? Because she told me that even last week that her sleep was better. I was like, yeah, that was one of the first things I noticed. So it's so exciting when you get those, when people say that to you. And she has already been talking about sharing with her daughter. So I'm going to see her at our homeschooling group on Thursday, and we'll definitely be saying a little bit more to her because I love to talk in person if I can. Okay. Again, I can't read what I put. Weekly series. Oh, okay. So this was just an idea that I learned from someone who I was following, because I follow a lot of people that help with social media that aren't Plexus related. And they had suggested something called a weekly series. And what I loved about it is, so it says this will happen on, it's either Instagram Live or Facebook Live. And we've kind of done this before, interview style, but we've never done it consistently or regularly on our pages. We've done it more on our Love Your Guts page, right? And I think a few of us, maybe Sarah Byers has done them on her personal page a couple times, but it hasn't been a consistent thing. So basically 10 minutes or less, basically an interview on a live, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. Gauge when your audience is actually on, and you can do that, just so you guys know. If you go into your Messenger, I believe, maybe I can't remember. Wait, doesn't it usually tell you? People. Okay. Mine's not working well right now. Can you guys, is your stuff working when you click on people to show how many people are on Facebook right now? Oh, it does say it. Okay, I can see it now. So if you click people in Messenger, it'll say active now. I have 445 people that are active on Facebook right now. So now would probably be a good time to go live, right? So pay attention to that it's a time that most people are on. I will tell you though, if you guys are new to sharing, it's usually the times, like it might be 7 to 9 a.m., about 11 to 1 lunchtime, and then usually about 7 to 9 p.m. are usually the best times that people are on social media. So typically if someone has a typical 8 to 5 job, just think of it that way. If you are a mom and you have kiddos, a lot of times the moms are on it in the carpool line because they're sitting there bored out of their mind. So that's another time, but just kind of pay attention and relate to, whoever your audience is, right? Okay, so this is, like I said, it's not a presentation, it's an interview with a customer or a teammate. You're going to talk about the experience, and right here you guys can see it says ask. These are the questions you would ask. You can pick your own questions, of course, but this is just to keep it simple. How long have you been doing it? What did your life look like before? What's been the best thing that happened to you? What did you think about this industry before you joined? And what advice would you give someone who's considering the products or opportunity? And then afterwards, after they share, you guys have your conversation. Again, try to keep it 10 minutes because people are going to check out, right? That was great. Thank you so much for sharing. Have a great day. However it is you want to close it up. You want to you want people to feel that they are missing out on something awesome because they are. Okay, go ahead, Christy.
Okay, so when you do something like this, does it only show up on the page of the person who's actually doing the interview? Like say I brought Stacy on and she's one of my new VIPs and I do an interview with her. Does it only show up on my page or would it show up on her page as well?
It's been a while since I've done that style because for a while Facebook wasn't working really well with it. So I stopped.
Randy.
Yes.
So Christy, if you guys do it on Instagram, there is a place where the person who's starting the phone, the live, you can click on that and say request to join. When you request to join, you become part of that session. When you are done, the person who started it shares that and tags you in it. So then it will post to your story.
Okay, so maybe that would be the same thing with Facebook, because I know if I go live on Facebook, I can ask somebody to join me.
Yeah, and then you usually just tag them.
Right. Okay, so then you tag them, and then that way, when you post it, it posts on your page and it posts on their page.
Yeah, because they ask if you want them to be a collaborator.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure with Facebook's a little bit different too, as far as the privacy, depending on settings. It might be, you know what I mean? Like people might not be able to say it for that reason, but test it out and see how it goes, right? Okay, this is make a post schedule. I just kind of just put in some examples there. Obviously, you can do it however you want. Monday might be talk about the business. How do I work? How do I work? Why do I work? What's a perk of this business? Maybe I earned something. Show up and mention your business, why you like it, what it's done for you. This is just kind of sharing some examples of what you would say. Tuesday, Q&A, answer questions. Okay, this one I really like. Again, this is an idea from a social marketing expert, whatever you want to call them. Answer questions about being a brand ambassador. So have you guys ever seen in stories when someone will ask me anything, right? And then they'll put the question there, the question box, right? You'll say, ask me anything about the business. So you put the question box there. So the idea is to get them asking questions about business. Now, at the beginning, they're probably not going to ask you any questions. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you can ask yourself questions. Like you can actually put stuff in the box to ask yourself questions. And I was testing it out a little bit today while I was doing my workout. I put there, what did I put on there? Think I can get them all in. 1,000 steps. I was supposed to do 1,000 step ups on a box today. I'm already out of breath after 100. Think I can get them all in. And so you can type something right there. And then if you go to click down at the faces afterwards, all the faces where it shows how many people have seen it, there's going to be responses there. Okay. Then you can say reply. I just literally wrote my own. I was like, you got this. I just did it just to test it out. Okay. And then you can say share response. It doesn't say it's from me. It just says, think I can get them all in? You got this, right? So you can type in your own questions. And then the cool part about that is it makes it easier to share about the business because you're answering questions for other people. Now, obviously the goal is to actually get real people asking these questions, right? But this is just to start off, to get things going. And if you're doing this regularly, like every Tuesday, I'm going to do a Q&A, then they're going to start asking questions. It's going to be a little bit more interactive, right? So that's just the start. I'm not going to sit here and read all of this stuff. This is just some ideas. Examples like, do I have to ignore my friends and family? Is there inventory? So think of all the questions that a potential would be asking you about the business. And guess what? You put it there and then you can go not live, but like share a video and answer the question, right? Wednesday, show me some social proof of people on your team. You guys, this is so important. A lot of us, like a lot of you guys have been doing that. That's just testimonies, right? But the best thing, that's why it's so important when we go to live events to get pictures with everybody, right? This is my friend Randy. This is my friend, I don't know, just random people that I might not necessarily be friends with, but I met them. And because I have a picture with them, it's proof right there, right? This is my friend. You've got to hear her story. It's absolutely incredible. And then I share her testimony. So show social proof. Okay. Share the testimonies, ask your friends in a text thread, tell them what, and I like this too. So this was another example. Ask your friends in a text thread and tell them what payday did for you. So you know what we do on the Facebook page, how we ask the question like, hey, it's payday. Like, what are you using your money for kind of thing? It's kind of like that, but you can always do it in a text thread with maybe your team and get the responses from them. And then you can share it. So instead of being icky with saying, oh, I made this much this month, they can kind of get an idea of how much people are making by saying, oh, I paid my mortgage off, right? Not off, but I paid my mortgage this month, or it's my car payment. It's covering my car, or it's covering my groceries, or it's covering my daughter's dance classes for the month, which could be huge, right? So that's something that I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I think I might do that just a couple of times, just so I have that to share. So you would screenshot that, like the thread of people answering, and then you would put it into your stories. And that's basically it. Again, these are just examples. So if you want to pick your days, I just went through Wednesday because I knew that it's already 9:08. I'm trying to go quickly. How to segue into people's DMs by using your content. Just kind of like what we were talking about, using polls, just like Christy was bringing up with the posts, but even you can do it as a poll in your stories, you know, and I've already seen people have already answered on mine as far as if they do it before or after. And that way you can kind of create a conversation. Oh, that's too funny. Like, I love, you know, oh, you're after. I've been doing it November 1st, and it just starts a conversation going, right? Depending on what it is. If you've made a post or reel about the product or with the product and someone comments on it, take the combo to the DMs. That is something you want to do too. If you guys make a post on Facebook and people are commenting like, I want more info, always respond back. Again, something Christy had mentioned, always respond back, but just let them know, hey, I'm going to actually send you a message to give you more details, right? So respond back, but take it to their DMs. Share the things you wish you'd known and make sure that you're speaking directly to your target audience. This might be confusing to you guys if you guys have not been doing this long when I'm saying your target audience. If you're starting off sharing it to your Facebook friends, that's okay. That's okay starting off right there. But as you kind of get going for a while, you're going to realize that like I said, if you're finding people in groups like I do, like my crunchy groups, my Christian friends, my crazy doodle friends, right? They're not crazy, but the dogs are crazy. You're gonna find who your target audience is through that, right? You're gonna have like those particular people that you're connecting with more, and you're gonna know who it is that you're focusing on. It might have to do with your age too, right? Like a lot of my friends are obviously, I hit 40 this year, so a lot of my friends are around that age. So it could even have to do with age, right? Let's see here. Share the things you like to know. Oh, then when they Oh, they story reply when they reply to the story, or comment on the post. You can message them and dig deeper. Okay. Don't just message people because they liked your content. Now I don't mean don't message people, because we obviously say it's a good thing to do, but don't just message them about the products or anything like that. What you want to do is, what I think is a good thing to do is you can message them and just thank them for supporting you. Again, I see typos and I'm sorry, guys. I always end with a question asking something. Are you taking Plexus as well? Might be my question. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're interested, and sometimes they're just being a good friend and showing some support. But I will tell you, the majority of the time on Facebook, when people start liking my posts and I keep noticing liking it, they usually are interested in Plexus. So don't hold back messaging them, but don't message them because it's a Plexus post. Don't go in and message them about the products. Just thank them for the support and ask them, are you taking it as well? Or have you taken Plexus before? And get the conversation going. Okay. And then things to remember. All right, make sure that you're engaging with people you care about. Remember, we aren't doing the message a ton of people and see who responds, right? Quality over quantity always. When I started sharing, I had 300 friends, guys. That's it, 300 friends, and I went gold in 2 months. So you don't need to have thousands of friends to share or to be successful with us. And don't be afraid to keep circling back by stories, comments, but don't keep messaging them, checking in to see if they're ready. So what I mean by that is definitely follow up with people, but when you're basically sending them reminders by jumping back into the conversation. So you may have been talking about Plexus and they kind of just went quiet on you. We call that ghosting sometimes. What you want to do, go ahead, Christy.
No, God, you finish your sentence. and then
Okay.
I'll-
All right, I'm almost done. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that oh, hey, I saw that you guys just went to the lake yesterday. Did you have a good time? Or you could send in a, hey, I was thinking about you because I saw this article about migraines, and I just want to send this info to you because I saw that gut health has a lot to do with fixing that, whatever it is. So it's not necessarily Plexus, but it's obviously Plexus related. So, or, hey, I saw this testimony that I really thought you could relate to on the Love Your Guts page. Can I tag you in it just to share it with you so you can read it? So just don't always make things constantly hey, just want to check if you're still interested, right? Make sure you're just kind of just doing little things like that. Go ahead, Kirsty.
So I'm just going to say that's basically what I was going to say. One of the things that I've learned is that when I'm going to follow up with somebody who maybe, acted like they were interested and then all of a sudden they're gone, right? I learned, and I think it was Melissa who said, don't just keep coming back with, hey, are you still interested? But put something that, if they talk to you about their low energy, then it's great to say, maybe you're on Love Your Guts and you see an article about energy and how much, it's helped somebody. Just copy and paste a couple of sentences. You don't have to copy and paste the full article, just a sentence or two, and say, hey, I was reading an article today, and this reminded me about what you were struggling with, why you wanted information about Plexus, and I wanted to share it with you. Put that in there. And then if they come back with a like or whatever, then you can ask them, would you be interested in reading the whole article? I can tag you in Love Your Guts. And that kind of keeps that conversation going again. So you're not just saying, hey, are you interested yet? Or did you ever listen to that video I sent you? Because you don't want to just keep coming back like that. You want to have something new, I think is how it was put. Have something new to bring to the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were talking about that, so Love Your Guts is our page for our potentials. Obviously our customers are on there too, but it's for our potentials. And it's a great place. We call it add tag message, where you add them to that page, you tag them in a post, and then you message them saying, hey, I tagged you in this because I really thought you could relate to it. So what I wanted to add to that though is sometimes, let's just say, I don't know, let's just say Christy's hey, Randy, my friend she has, I don't know, PCOS, and I can't find anything on the page, which by the way, there's lots on the page, but I can't find anything on the page that talks about PCOS. Can you put a post out there so it's not coming from me? And so I could just go ahead and put a post up there, and she's like, oh my gosh, Becky, I feel like you would relate to this. Like, this is exactly, so we can help out in that way too. And there's a lot of stuff that we can post on Love Your Guts page that we can't necessarily put out there on our private pages when it comes to the testimonies and whatnot. So anyway, well, I hope that was good and useful for you guys. I know that was a long call, and thank you guys for sticking around. And does anyone else have any questions or comments? Jill did say following up by inviting to an event as well. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Events, absolutely. Zoom events. I like Zoom events the most, being able to listen in on those, but there's Facebook events, there's all types of events.
Just real quick, what are the benefits of having a creator account? That's something I've never set up.
It's really just a way to track. I feel like I can see how many people saw my my posts or my videos or anything like that. So it's a C analytics basically. And I'm sure there's other benefits. Like I said, I don't know if you guys go to someone's page. Can you?
Jill
Jill
was
just-
saying you can schedule posts.
Oh, and that too. Yeah. So that's what I did actually last week. A lot of my posts that I had come out this week, I scheduled last week because I was like, okay, I know I'm going to be busy. I was on a creative roll. Like I was just like on a roll of like ideas that I wanted to put out there. And so I actually scheduled like a post every day. And I definitely like to do that for the weekend because the weekend is my family time. So I still want posts to go out, but I don't necessarily want to be, and I'll still check it to obviously, like we talked about, to make sure that I'm responding back and commenting and stuff, but I'm mostly not paying attention to social media on the weekends.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great call, Randy. Lots of information, took screenshots. Thank you so much for the training tonight.
You're welcome. Sorry for my typos.
Hey, you know what? It's real life, right?
True.
Makes all of us feel better when we have blunders, when we know even you have blunders. So
Oh, absolutely. I'm not perfect in any way.